I was just feeling stuck. I tried other things to find joy again, to find peace, to feel connected with my daughter. And April was like, I know this guy and he knows what he's doing and he's really helped me. So I was willing to just check it out. And then after even just the initial interaction with him, he was like, hey, send me a video of you breathing. And then he immediately sent feedback with a video, which gave me the indication like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. Um, and I really needed just relief from the day to day stress. And I actually just wanted to wake up feeling excited for the day, not like, here we go with another day. I like this model is very hands-on and practical in the sense that, okay, he's given me these tools that I can use throughout the day, like the breathing techniques, helpful at first to do that reset of like 7 minutes every morning to kind of get me in a more regulated state and out of that like constant fight or freeze that I was in. And now I'm able to use those tools when I'm walking in the morning, or with some of the other movement stuff. I can do it throughout the day when I'm doing laundry or in the kitchen cooking and I have a few minutes, so I can weave it into my day in a way that keeps my nervous system where it needs to be so that I can be responsive and not reactive throughout the day. And then I actually enjoy my day more. I also like that with this model, he's a real person. He's accessible. So things have popped up where I have a question or I need help with something, and I know that he actually cares and he's going to respond. Before working with Rome, I had tried different medications for anxiety. I had tried a slew of different therapists, and I do believe to some degree that some of those therapists and the one I'm working with right now helped lead me here. But I realize the one I'm with now is very much of a similar approach to him. So I almost feel like there was some alignment into me realizing the power of his work through that. Um, I had tried, like doing consistent yoga. Um, other than that, I mean, I think a good portion of my time was just spent stuck in the cycle of stress and not really doing much to help myself other than finding distractions or ways to numb everything and just calling it normal. The main takeaway from this retreat was finding play again. I have learned how to play with my daughter again, but having the time to play with other adults was really fun. And it reminded me that we should always be playing and having that element of um, I play. Like, I don't know, just that element of like joy, play. This time that was my main thing. I think because all of the previous retreats that I was on, not all of them, but this is my third one. So the previous two, like I see the progression through all of them. And the first one I came, I was even looking back through that testimonial and imagining myself during that time, I was super sad. I was really sad and dysregulated. And then I also had that awakening when I was here the first time of like, wow, there's a way I can get out of this cycle. I can get off of the hamster wheel. And there are other people that like also feel this way and want to be out of that. And then the last time I was here, I found more of like who I am and felt a little bit more recentered. And then this time I felt a lot like, oh, okay, like I can play now and I can connect with people differently. And I have this creativity that I want to do something with, which a year ago I was very much in survival mode of just trying to manage my emotions day to day, which felt very heavy at that time. I recently went and stayed for the weekend with a friend that I've known since I was 16. And she even was like, you're a totally different person now. I don't drink anymore. I am not reactive like I used to be. I have just a different presence about me, and the way I communicate's different. And it's been fun to have other people recognize that. Like, I feel it, but it's been really fun, especially for people that I've known for more than half my life, to be like, you are just a totally different person now. And I think that that also helps to inspire people to know that, like, it is possible to change, and that we can choose how we want to be. We can choose the type of human, regardless of what we've been through, regardless of what's going on, that working on different things, and I do believe it starts with breath and being able to pause, to have enough room to make that choice. And then it opens up all these other gateways. Yeah. Top 3 things. Number 1, play is important. Number 2, how we move our body is important. And number 3, it's really hard to narrow it down to 3. Having time to just be, and learning how to quiet the mind, and becoming aware of how and what we think is super important. This is what's coming to mind, but when we were doing the river adventure to the hot spring and crossing the river with the current, it surprised me that it's like how with the current and going over the rocks, and I guess I was more surprised at myself, because I thought, like, okay, this will be fine, but it required a lot of like balance from me and focus and different things. So it just was like, oh, okay, there's still like some levels that I need to like keep challenging myself with. I've made all this progress, yes, but like something like that, of like continuing to challenge myself as a human to grow. And you would think like, oh, you're crossing a river, and yes, it was up here, but like there was, with the current and the rocks, it just made me realize, like, okay, my focus could be improved, my balance could be improved. And I have learned that the working on those things isn't isolated into one thing. Like, working on balance and focus affects all areas of one's life. This time I felt like I just got a different, it was less about releasing some of those traumas and more about finding more enlightenment. Whereas before it felt very much like I was just like shedding stuff. This time it felt very much of like I was receiving. So I felt a little bit less of a resistance and challenge, whereas like before I had been hanging on to some of those traumas or victim mindset things as my identity. So this time, because I have worked through a lot of that, it was more of like, okay, what can I let in now? Which is where I was like, okay, play and balance and focus. And when we did our breathwork journey, I felt very much like I was like downloading more positive things versus releasing, which I do think that happened as well. I think there were some things that I shed, but it also felt very much more like I was like becoming more centered with myself and who I truly am at like the soul center. The community has been super supportive, and they feel like brothers and sisters, like you guys. Like I view you guys as like my brothers and sisters and family, and I'm able, like, I feel comfortable around you guys. We have very open, deep conversations. And even if there's opposing views or different thoughts, it's all done in this way where it still feels very cohesive, and that we're all supporting each other to help each other grow in ways that are unique to each person still. And it's just been really great to know that there is this container of people who are safe, and it's okay to be human around and put the real stuff out there and go deeper in order to actually continue expanding as a human. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who is struggling with anxiety or stress or feeling stuck or even feeling apathy, just like this is life and this is what it is, another day. Because once you work with Rome for even a little bit and you feel the difference, whether it's through his questioning, whether it's through his breath work, you get a little glimpse into like this other side of what could be, and then you at least realize, at least for me, I realized like, all right, either between the programming or the cycles and patterns I was in, I just thought, okay, well, this is what life is now, and it's super stressful every day, and it's going to be stressful every day, and this is how it's going to be. So anybody who is ready to actually enjoy their time on earth, I would recommend it to them, especially if they're not feeling super joyful, and if they're ready to admit that, right? There has to be a level of like, yeah, I'm super stressed all the time, or I'm super reactive, or I don't really enjoy my life. Like, yeah, I like my kids and I like this stuff, but like, are you actually enjoying life? Because if you're not actually enjoying life, then when that time comes and you're on your deathbed, you can't go back. And that seems to be common feedback of like people on their deathbed or knowing they're dying is like, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done this. And I don't want to be on my deathbed wishing I would have done something differently to enjoy my life and feel like I was living in a purposeful way. And Rome has helped open that door to be like, find your joy, find your purpose, and enjoy life. I fucking hate that guy. Just kidding. Rome has become like a brother to me. That's how I view him very much, a mentor and guide, but also like a brother. He is a wealth of information. He has a lot of experience in a ton of different things, whether it be health and wellness stuff or just different things going on with the world, and his ability to ask questions and provoke some thinking is very helpful in a way that's not like, you should be thinking this is right or wrong. It's very much like we'll just consider this and think about this, or he lays it out in a way where it doesn't feel super intrusive, but it's still enough to maybe break some of the cycles or snap out of the like programming. I think you both are great, and yeah, I mean, I love Rome, I love you, and you can tell you both have like genuine hearts that want to help people, and there are not, like, I haven't come across, I wouldn't say every coach has a center that's truly looking out for like, how do we help humans grow and expand to their full potential. And I you guys have that energy, so it's nice because it's genuine and it's supportive, and yeah, it just feels very much like family.